This person had a crazy experience and you guys have tagged me in this nonstop. So we're going to watch it. I'll let you know my thoughts after.
It is not deja reve. It is a secret third thing, and I would love to know if anyone has ever experienced anything like what I'm about to say. So this happened in November, end of November in 2021. I was living with my ex at the time and we were making dinner. I'm standing at the island in the kitchen and she has her back turned to me. She's facing the toaster and I remember this specifically because she was toasting bread to go with her spaghetti, and I was having a thought process of I just had never heard of anyone toasting bread to go with their spaghetti. I'm sure that's a thing. Like, I've heard of garlic bread and spaghetti, but I just hadn't thought of like toast with spaghetti. So I was thinking about that. Again, her back is facing me. She starts talking. All of a sudden, in the middle of her sentence, my ears start ringing like crazy. Disclaimer, this is when I start to sound absolutely insane. Okay, you don't have to tell me. I know. I feel a sensation I have never felt before, which is the feeling of being above my body and slamming back into it, as if I was just somewhere else and I have just arrived in my body. And in the same way, you know when you wake up from a dream and like you're clinging to the details of the dream and it just starts to slip through your fingers the moment you wake up? Like that, I was starting to forget where I just was. But I was repeating a few things over and over again in my head from where I just was. And those two things were, why am I here again? I've already done all this and I have to do it right this time. Again, why am I back here? I've already done all this and I have to do it right this time. Over and over, that was all I retained from it, but it was a physical sensation of dropping into my body, like almost like I respawned in a video game. I had this distinct feeling that I was older. Like I don't know how to say that without sounding insane, but the first few moments of me being back in my body were spent looking around in disbelief and wonder that I was back here again, which terrified me. And simultaneously, almost as if it was like a visual, and I know this sounds fucking crazy, almost visually, I can see in front of me the paths from that exact moment. On one of the two, like, paths, if you will, is me responding normally to what my ex was saying. Like, she was saying something about her pasta bread and I responded normally to that. And then on the other side was the one that I felt like I was on, was the one where instead of responding to the bread comment, I said, hold up, I just had the most insane fucking deja vu of my life. But before I felt the path fork sort of situation, for a split second, it felt as if, and I know this sounds insane, but it's important, it felt like I was holding two memories of the same moment, and then they changed, and then that path went that way, and I went this way, and I could no longer see that, and then it all faded. It was all over in like 10 seconds. But this is where it gets insane. I say, hold up, I just had the most insane deja vu of my entire life. I feel like I just slammed back into my body. That's all I said. I'm expecting her to just be like, wow, that's crazy, because that's what everyone always does. Instead, she turns around and looks at me with absolute horror in her face and says, wait, that happened to me today too. She said, I was standing in the aisle hanging things at work and I felt like I slammed back into my body. And she said, I didn't even say it out loud. She said, I felt like I was holding two memories of the same moment and then it split. And we just stood there staring at each other in absolute disbelief. And I never was the same after that. Ever. It changed my entire perception of time. Like, it broke my brain. I actually for a while was afraid that I had experienced some sort of psychosis or something, so I would talk to my therapist about it and she was like, this does not sound like psychosis to me, but it bothers me to this day because there was a distinct feeling that I felt in that moment that did not feel like deja vu or deja reve. It was distinct and it's never happened before and it's never happened since, and it fucks me up because those are the only two things I remember. Like, why was my thought, I have to do it right this time? Do what? Do what right this time? That's a lot of pressure. What happened last time? Did I die and then respawn for real? Anyway, my whole life changed after that. And for the record, I'm pleased with my life now. Like, we're good. Everything's great. Has anything like this ever happened to any of you? I don't have words for it. And since we're on the topic, I felt like it might be a good time to bring it up because I've been searching for answers. Also, fun fact, me telling that story was actually the first video I ever recorded on this TikTok account. It's still sitting in my drafts. I obviously never posted it, but I recorded that video like right after it happened because it was so insane that I was like, I feel like I should share this with the internet, but then I was scared of the internet back then. So I didn't, but now I'm telling it. And does anyone know what it was? Thank you so much.
So I'm really torn on this, right? Because the like going back into your body like that gives me astral projection vibes, like when you're astral projecting and then you like whoop, back into your body. But the fact that things were different afterwards and you felt like you were older gives me quantum immortality vibes. Like you died in hop timelines. I don't know how you died. Maybe the toaster blew up. But then the fact that the girlfriend also experienced it earlier, and the fact that you saw, like, you literally had both memories at the same time and chose a different path, and you were told to choose a different path. Like, what? Then that can't be quantum immortality. It's like something was giving you the option, like, hey, you just screwed this up and it's going to take you down like a road that you don't want to eventually go down. Maybe not even now. Maybe like this road of doing this thing will lead you down this path that's not going to be good for you. Make a different choice. But this is, and to literally see like paths, like footsteps, paths is so cool. This whole thing is so cool and so intriguing. I have not heard anything like this. I'm not positive on what happened. I mean, I'm never positive on what happened. I have no idea. I'm just guessing, but I'm not even positive on my speculations. I need to hear everybody else's thoughts and speculations in the comments. Please let me know what you think.